county or municipality or neighborhood you're in if you're in the city. Say whether you're registered green so that Kelly can keep track of that for notes. And then in the chat, in the Zoom chat, if you have access to it, just type like who you wish would join the Green Party. It could be anyone, like a AOC, Bernie Sanders, your mom, like whoever. But put that in. So that's the idea for the intro, like the icebreaker.
Okay, my name is Tom Bailey. Welcome to the meeting tonight. As you heard Jay say, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves briefly. My wife and I live in Penn Hills, and I'm glad to be here and seeing people during the COVID.
My name's Matt. I live in Bethel Park, and I am a registered Green Party member.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you call on people, Tom? Or do you have a list? Or maybe, I don't know, Ron can call on people?
I'd be glad to.
Yeah, Tom, go for it.
I'd be glad to.
Is this the
Catherine,
right?
I'm sorry. You already introduced. Could you introduce yourself again, please?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm Catherine Abby Eva. I'm from Mount Lebanon, and I'm a registered green.
Okay. Walt, please.
Yeah, I'm Walt. I am in Allegheny County in the city of Pittsburgh, in Bloomfield. I am pretty new to all this and I'm not registered in the Green Party.
Thank you.
So I'm Michael Bagdis Canning. I am from Cherry Valley, which is in northern Butler County. I am a registered green.
Thank you. Alex?
Hi, I'm Alex Ludi, he, him pronouns, from Somerset County, and I'm a registered green.
Thank you. Carmen?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carmen Alexander. I live in Bloomfield. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am a registered green.
Okay. We've heard from Jay. Billy?
Yeah, I'm Billy O'Hara. I'm from Allegheny County up in Ross Township, and I am a registered green.
Okay. Thank you. Marcy?
Hi, I'm Marcy Henze. I live in the west end of Pittsburgh. I'm a longtime green. And to answer Jay's question, who would I like to see turn green? Paula Jean Swearingen.
Didn't hear
Would
that.
you like to introduce yourself, David?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I didn't hear your.
Okay.
David Hughes, live in Greenfield, Squirrel Hill border. Longtime green.
Okay. Hi, Kelly.
Hello. I'm Kelly because I'm Jack. I'm treasurer of the Allegheny Greens. I'm registered green. And I live in Westmoreland County right now, in New Kensington.
Okay. A woman has Southwood 6 as
Claire.
her ID.
That's Claire.
Claire?
Can't hear you, Claire.
I realize I'm going to sign back out because it shouldn't be Southwood 6. That's my work. So, but I'll tell you who I am, sign back out and sign back in. Claire Cohen. I'm a registered green. I live in the Highland Park section of Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to sign back out because I wasn't supposed to. I thought I had signed that out. Okay. All right.
Okay. Dominic?
On the right
Hi,
one.
my name's Dominic. I'm living in Swissvale. I'm not registered green.
Okay. Alex?
I'm Alex Downing. Live in the North Hills. I joined about 2 weeks ago, so I'm not registered yet.
All right, welcome. Beth?
I live in the north side of Pittsburgh, and I registered as a green less than a year.
Matt?
Me?
You able to introduce yourself?
Oh, I thought I already did. Yeah, I'm from Bethel Park, and I'm a registered green.
All right, thank you. James iPhone, could you introduce yourself?
I'm James Rasmussen. I'm in Falston in Butler County, and I am a registered green as of last week.
All right.
Welcome. Riley.
I'm Riley Mahan. I'm from Upper St. Clair. And I guess if I had to pick someone to become a green, it would probably be Ilhan Omar.
Jen Pike.
Hi, Jenny, and I live in Carrick, and I'm a registered green.
Okay. Robin.
I live in Brighton Heights, Allegheny County. I'm a registered green.
Thank you. And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I live in Allegheny County in Carnegie, and I am still a registered Democrat, but I'm looking to become a Green.
Okay. And there's a phone, 41257.
That's me. Yes.
Go ahead.
Nora, and I am in Wilkinsburg, and I am in Allegheny County, and I will become a Green after the primary.
I hear you. All right, thank you. Okay, we're going to go to the agenda then. Agenda item 1, brief announcements.
Hi, Tom. I'm here too, Garrett.
I'm sorry, Garrett. I saw your name, but now I don't see it. Go ahead, please.
No worries. I just want to say hi. I'm Garrett Wasserman. I am the vice chair of Allegheny County Green Party, and I live in Coraopolis in the West Hills. So if you're in the West Hills, let me know.
Okay, chair announcements and report by Jay.
All right. Hello. I'm not sure if this should be the May chair announcement or the April chair announcement because it's summarizing last month. But anyway, my report is so right after our April General Assembly meeting, Bernie Sanders dropped out, and it feels like this month has been all about that. I want to give a heartfelt welcome to all of his supporters who've joined up with us since he's dropped out. They've already plugged into lots of things in the local, national, statewide level. They're leading committees, making outreach calls, and they're becoming like an active part of our party. This month, we also continue the work of getting people onto Slack and kind of digitally engaged so that our party can congregate between General Assembly meetings, and since we can't congregate in person, our Friday lunchtime Slack has been regularly attended with thriving conversations, and I recommend all of you get in on them. They're 11:30 to 1 on Fridays. And the Slack is, operating all the time other than then as well. We've been using Slack to coordinate our committee work, and we also have, we've been getting a phone tree system going, so I know some of you are reached out to, not by me, which is like really great for me, but somehow I seem to be just as busy. Yeah, so we've been kind of reaching out to a lot more people than we have been before. And we're also, our party is continuing to engage in direct action type work, even though social distancing is going on. You'll hear more about that in the committee updates, the working group updates. So my goals for this month are develop our working groups. They're kind of just loose associations right now. Develop an onboarding process for new members. Right now it's just sort of like, just keep emailing them and hope that they stick, I guess. We want to build up our 2020 campaign teams. We have a couple state house races that we have going on, and we need to get them meeting. And we also want to have our neighborhood groups start meeting again. We had 3 neighborhood groups in the South Hills, in the Regent Square, and also in the West End, and they had been meeting in person before social distancing began pretty consistently. And we'd like to get them to at least chat with each other online, just so they can stay in touch. And that's up for my chair report. And I'll post it on Slack and send it out.
Okay, thank you. Treasurer's report, Finance Committee, Kelly.
Hello. Okay, so this month from online donations, we got $230, which is awesome. We have about $1,500 in the bank account and about $170 stuck in PayPal because I have to provide some paperwork to officially get it transferred into the bank. So that is a work in progress. So that's $1,670 in assets, if you will. But we owe about $800 to me for t-shirts and to our Ready to Run registrants for reimbursement for part of their registration. So that gives us about $870 to work with, and that will be spread throughout our helping out our candidates as well as just doing our general recruiting and stuff. And the Finance Committee has a meeting on the 12th. That's next Tuesday at this time, 6 p.m. on this Zoom channel.
Okay, thank you. Green Wave Committee, Garrett.
Yeah, hi everyone. So if you're not familiar, Green Wave is what we call our statewide initiative to both help Green Party candidates run for office, as well as grow and found new local Green Party chapters across the state. So like Jay was saying, we've had a large amount of interest in the past month. So we're kind of organizing, connecting people, getting that going. So that's pretty cool. In terms of what's going on with candidates and all, I'm a candidate for state representative. Jay is, we have 3 candidates for statewide office, the auditor, treasurer, and attorney general.
Huge.
Because of COVID, we haven't been able to petition. So normally at this time of year, we would be out at events and things like that petitioning, but it's not safe to do so right now, especially there's the governor's orders to stay home. So on that front, the state party has issued a letter to the governor, to the Department of State, and to legislative leaders asking for a waiver for the typical signature requirements this year to get Green Party candidates on the ballot. Several other states are in the same situation we're in, so they have also requested waivers and began filing lawsuits. A few of them have actually already started to win lawsuits and get Green Party candidates on the ballot. So we feel pretty good that unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to petition before our filing deadline in August 1st. So we're transitioning basically to a legal strategy. So we sent a couple of letters. We sent one letter a month ago that didn't get a response. We sent a second follow-up letter to the governor and Department of State. That letter actually did receive a response. They said they received our request and they're considering it. In the meantime, the state party has retained a lawyer and is currently looking at filing a lawsuit. So that's where we stand right now. And we feel pretty good about it that we'll be able to get Green Party candidates on the ballot. And actually, that'll be pretty exciting if we could do that without having the usual petitioning requirements, because that's a lot of work. It'd be nice to kind of transition that work straight into campaigning, But that's where we're at now, so I'll let everyone know. But look for a press release to come out about that in the near future.
Eric, can I just add?
Sure.
Aren't the Libertarians also involved with that same request to remove the petitioning requirements?
Oh yeah, correct. I don't know what the final status is going to be when the lawsuit is filed. However, our the state Green Party committee met with representatives of the Libertarian Party, the Constitution Party, and at least one independent candidate for Congress. So this isn't just for Greens. This is making sure that everyone has ballot access. That this is an issue of democracy, not just for Greens. So I think it'll have extra legitimacy if we go in as a group. So that's the plan. So like I said, watch for a press release in the near future.
All right, thank you. Outreach Committee, Jay.
We've been phone banking new Greens. We've been phone banking new signups, and we've also been setting up the phone tree to phone bank to turn out for general assemblies and also for the actions that we participate in. So that's what the outreach committee's been working on. I also I put this in the new business, but we should. I'm hoping we can talk about our and having an event after, like, right around our next general assembly, because it's right after the primary, and it could be like a big switch over to the Green Party, like why you should switch over type Zoom call sort of thing. And our next outreach committee meeting is this Thursday at 8:15 p.m.
If people are interested, how can they participate, Jay?
It's this same information for this meeting, but you can always reach out to me or ask on the Slack or anything like that.
Okay.
So it's
Thank
going to
you.
be on this Zoom link right here, Jay?
Yeah, this is like our Green Party of Allegheny County room that we use for our General Assembly meetings, our executive committee meetings, and all of our committee meetings.
Okay, you said Thursday at 8:15, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Policy Committee, Bill.
It's Billy. Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Billy. My
You
mistake.
can hear me. Okay. All right. So right now, the policy committee, we're focusing on drafting our municipal Green New Deal platform for folks to run on in 2021. So we're having our first meeting on Friday. That's the 8th at 4 p.m. Garrett posted that info on the Slack policy channel. I'm not sure if it's the same or not, but we can send out another reminder to the general channel on the day of, potentially. And then this initial meeting is going to talk about, Garrett's first draft, what he's done. That's already posted in the policy channel if people want to check it out. We're going to be identifying a few main topics to focus on now so that we don't spread ourselves too thin and we can come up with some really well-researched, comprehensive plans on a couple key issues. And then we're also going to identify some lower priorities to put on the back burner for now. This week, I'm not sure if I should go into this, but I talked with Jackie Smith from the Pittsburgh Human Rights City Alliance and was talking with her about some of this stuff. And so if folks are interested in doing human rights stuff, talk to her. She's really accessible, and I think she'll be a good go-to person for racial inequality, food, housing. We're going to include that in the Green New Deal.
Okay, thank you. Anti-fracking working group, Michael, please.
Okay, well, I was asked to talk about some stuff that's going on statewide, and I'm assuming regionally. So tonight, big deal. Justin Noble is going to be speaking on a webinar sponsored by Better Path Coalition. I posted a link to register in the chat. Soon, I don't know, we haven't got a date yet, but Marcellus Outreach Butler, my group, will be screening Planet of the Humans, Michael Moore's film, and there'll be a panel discussion afterwards. That's kind of a big deal because there's a lot of controversy about that in the anti-fracking movement and beyond. There's a bill in the PA state legislature that will prohibit DEP from enforcing regs until 90 days after the shelter-in-place order is lifted. There are 2 virtual tours, toxic tours of Pennsylvania that will be staged. One with the Poor People's Campaign. The details are not yet out. The second with Better Path Coalition, and that is going to be June 19th. And the final thing is probably Marcy would be in a better position to talk about this than me. Over a new group is rolling out some stuff in the near future. That's it.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael, did you say where you are, or is that a picture behind you?
Yeah, that's a picture. That's Rocky Mountain.
So over,
okay, thank you.
over is an acronym for Ohio Valley Environmental Resistance. And our first huge thing is to get rid of the cracker plant.
Out in Beaver County, Marcy?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Criminal Justice Working Group, Carmen.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. What am I speaking about this time? I didn't hear you what you said.
I'm asking you to speak about the Criminal Justice Working Group.
Okay, so this is a group that is headed by Fawn Montgomery. And hi, everyone. It's called Policing in Allegheny County. We call it PAC as an abbreviation. Regarding police accountability, the Take Action Mon Valley part. So the mission is to combat all forms of community violence through activism and organizing. And PAC is making up of made up of local advocacy groups. So I'm a part of that. I also represent my organization in that as well that I work for, which is New Voices for Reproductive Justice.
Carmen, could I ask you if you could speak a little bit louder, please?
Sure. Can you hear me better, John? Or
that's better. Yes.
Okay, I'll try to be louder. Okay, so
thank you.
It's a group of local advocacy groups, and anyone can join. Our next meeting is tomorrow at 6:30. You can always just hit me up and let me know if you want to join that meeting. We're actually focusing on Allegheny County Jail right now and the conditions in the jail, and actually working on addressing the issues with COVID. So we are working with Allegheny County as well. So that's pretty much what I know. I just joined it. I've been on the meetings maybe like two meetings so far, and so it's fairly new. So it's
okay. Thank you. I'm going to speak about the Green Energy Working Group. I'm a member of a group called 3 Mile Island Alert, based out of Harrisburg. And 3 Mile Island changed its license, so it's no longer an operating nuclear power plant. And the current owner of the plant, is looking to transfer ownership of the plant to a second company to begin what's called decommissioning. In the plans that they filed with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, they anticipate, they're not sure, but they're anticipating that they would leave some radioactive waste on the island. And 3 Mile Island is, as it says, 3 miles long. And it's literally in the middle of the Susquehanna River. Michael, I see your hand. Just give me a sec. The point I'm trying to make is that the state of Pennsylvania has filed paperwork to become involved with this NRC license transfer. And it's not done very often. So I'm applauding the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for getting involved. They're trying to make sure that there's enough money to take care of getting the radioactive waste off the site. And they are saying they will not allow the radioactive waste to stay on the site. So there's a large legal battle that's looming, in my opinion, because the Nuclear Regulatory Commission has normally told the states what was going to happen, and the states just accepted it. So right now there's a fight with what's going to happen with this Nuclear Regulatory Commission license. David, do you see? David Hughes is very much an expert on this also. Would you like to add anything more, David?
Oh, just a piece of information. Is my sound loud enough?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Cool. For a point of information on that, the owner of several plants, the Beaver Valley Nuclear Plant, 25 miles from Pittsburgh, is First Energy out of Akron. First Energy had announced last year that they were closing several plants, including the Beaver Valley plant, next year, 2021. But now, because of the Governor Wolf's order around the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, or RGGI, First Energy has announced that they're not going to close that nuclear plant because they expect to get a lot of money out of the RGGI deal. So keep your eyes open on that one.
Okay. Single payer working group. Claire, please.
Off of there. All right. So Dave and I have been involved with the Western PA Coalition for Single Payer, which is having, and a major part of that is PNHP and labor folk. We're having a big, David, a smile, webinar tomorrow night.
How big is it?
We're all there. We're having a former president of PNHP speak, plus this big labor guy, Mark Dutzek, who was involved in the past in trying to form Labor Party. And we'll be announcing not quite all the deals, but we're going to be, I'll give you a preview. What we're going to be talking about, we're working on getting together a car caravan that's done in a safe way. 2 or 3 weeks from now. We don't have the exact date yet, but we'll be letting people know, because it looks like some of our RSVPs are from people out of the area, even out of the state. We're kind of going to present in a way that other people might think of following our lead and doing this car caravan thing. We're going to be talking about these 3 pieces of legislation before Congress. 1, bad. 2, a little bit better. 3, much better, and would give everybody access to health care in the emergency of now of COVID, and help lay the groundwork for Medicare for all. So, Dave, do I have it right?
You always have it right, Claire. Does everybody know what PNHP is?
Nope.
I don't.
It's the Physicians. Go ahead. National
Physicians for a National Health Program, of which I'm a member.
Which Claire's a member.
It's been in existence since 1987, and at this point, over 23,000 physicians are in it.
Right. So tomorrow, in case you didn't catch it, tomorrow is what I think is going to be tomorrow night at 7. an excellent webinar on the current situation in terms of single-payer health care, in terms of legislation that's terrible in the Congress, and in terms of how this all relates to the current COVID-19 pandemic. It's at 7 o'clock. I think Jay and Garrett have done a great job getting you the link where you can register, or you can watch on YouTube without actually registering. But at 7 o'clock tomorrow, if you have time, I urge you to join it. Claire's going to be the moderator. Anna Malino, past president of PNHP, will be speaking about the macro picture of single-payer healthcare, et cetera, with the COVID-19. And Mark Dudzik is the leader of the,
The labor campaign for single
for
payer.
single payer, yeah. Labor campaign for single payer. I think it's, if you're interested in healthcare as an issue, I wouldn't miss it.
Excellent report. Thank you both. Anti-war working group, David. Okay.
Talk about the PNC shareholders.
For the PNC, the Stop Banking the Bomb issue. Yeah, well, as you all know, there's a Stop Banking the Bomb campaign for 2 years now where we picket PNC branches to try to get PNC to divest their $1.2 billion they have invested in companies that manufacture nuclear weapons. So every year we try to get people to go into their annual shareholders meeting and make statements, which we have done to great success the last couple of years. This year we wanted to do it. I personally was excited because I removed all my accounts from PNC and was ready to go in and tell the CEO that I did that after 45 years as a customer. But they didn't have the meeting. It was a meeting like this. One of our folks, Peter Deutsch, was able to access the meeting online, and it went on for 20 minutes. They didn't have any shareholders permit any shareholders to make any statements, and it was pretty much a farce. And that's what happened with that big event. So we'll be meeting soon to plan our future activities.
Okay, thank you. Green Party, Allegheny County Black Caucus. Claire, please.
Oh, okay. So I've been calling people, African Americans who either recently joined the Greens or thinking of joining the Greens. I've reached about 8 people now, and all the people have said they are interested, and we're thinking about maybe trying to pull together a meeting sometime in early June, because some of the people want to not become officially green until after the primary. So I should, Carmen, I extend to you too to invite. We have some new people who are very excited and interested in becoming Greens.
Great.
Okay.
I'll be. I just joined the National Black Caucus as well. So bring some more information with that.
Do you want to?
both.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
State National Committees, Kelly and Garrett.
For state committees, I've joined Green Wave calls and core calls. Core, we always seem to have more questions than answers, but we've just been talking about internal infrastructure kind of things, nation builder, that kind of stuff, and working on the website. And Green Wave I haven't been on, so I'm not super up to date. Garrett, do you have anything?
Yes, so I kind of co-lead the state Green Wave team with Beth Scroggin, who is our state party secretary. She's also handling the ballot access. So we officially on the books have Green Wave state organizing calls on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of each month. Because we can't petition, like I was saying earlier, there's not a whole lot to organize on that front right now. So we're partly focused on trying to help new people get involved in their local state parties. And part of that effort is I did my first Green Party 101 welcome phone call. What was it, last week or the week before? So yeah, and that was fun. So I put together a little presentation and kind of walked people through a very short bit of party history and our values and stuff like that. So a few people missed it and asked if there was going to be another one. So I'm going to try it again at the end of May. So if you know anyone who is new to the Green Party and missed the first call, let me know, or you can go to the Green Party Pennsylvania's website, and on the calendar there's an event where you can RSVP, and that's the best for that. So we'll keep trying to bring in new people and get them plugged into things. So that's really exciting. The other half of that, like I said, is the lawsuit. So watch for that coming soon. That's at the state level. Did you have anything else, Kelly, or did you want me to talk about national?
Wait, I got something.
Okay, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, we have we had our presidential primary this month.
Right.
So
yeah.
There are, gosh, where are the results though? Okay, here are the results. We had 150 votes across the state. Howie Hawkins won the primary with, this is uncertified, by the way, uncertified results. There still needs to be certified by the steering committee. So like, don't go telling
you gotta say
everybody.
that. You have to say that because people get pissed.
Yes. Okay. Howie Hawkins got 53% of the vote. Dario Hunter got 41% of the vote. And then,
the third person.
David Roll, it looks like he got a single vote. But 0.07%, along with Bernie Sanders and Dennis Lambert and Jill Stein. And it looks like Jesse Ventura got 2 votes.
What?
Jesse Ventura got 2 votes.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Wow.
And then the other thing is that our June state party meeting is coming up, like early June. So we'll share more information about that. It's digital, of course.
Jay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Jay.
David.
I couldn't hear you, Jay, but did you say Jesse Ventura got 2 votes?
Yes. He wasn't on the ballot, but we had a write-in option.
He got 2 write-ins.
Yes, you'll hear more about it on the national update.
Okay.
Okay. Jay, could you also tell us how many delegates we get from PA to the national convention and how the splitting up of delegates works? Because isn't it proportional representation?
Yeah, I think it's 5 and 6. 6 to Howie, 5 to Dario.
Okay.
And we submitted 9 applications from Allegheny County for delegates to the state level, to the national level.
Nice. The only other national thing I have to say is that the Youth Caucus elections were this past week, and I very last minute decided to run for Finance Committee chair and won, and Jay ran for co-chair and won. So we also have 2 other Pennsylvania friends. We have a Noah. I can't find his last name because I only see first name here.
He's actually from Seattle, Washington State. He's just a friend of Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. A lot of his experience was in Pennsylvania, in his bio, but he's on Education Committee. And then Thomas Murphy from the Philly area-ish, or is he from Lancaster? Yeah, Lancaster. He is a National Committee delegate. So, woo! Yay, Pennsylvania.
Okay,
That's all.
are we ready to go to old party business?
Let me add something for national. Real quick, our national convention was supposed to be in Detroit, but now it's going to be online. And then the other thing is, yeah, Jesse Ventura was thinking about running. He submitted a statement of interest as a Green Party candidate for president. It sounds like he is maybe not thinking about it anymore, but it's like a huge source of drama and discussion and everything. So yeah, maybe Jesse Ventura will actually run as a Green Party candidate, but it's pretty late in the process. And it looks like he's not popular amongst people who are actually voting in the Green primary, which is who you need to win over to actually be on the general election ballot as a Green. So yeah, more to come on that, but it looks like he's decided to no longer run.
Wouldn't it be fun if he did and he caused Trump to win?
It would be more fun if he actually ran and got 5% for us. But yeah.
That's what
That's all I got, Tom.
Okay. Old party business debate uploaded to YouTube.
Okay, so we had our presidential debate. It's not really a debate. It was more of a town hall meeting that Garrett had set up, and I was fortunate enough to moderate. And that is now on YouTube, and you can go find it there on our Allegheny County Green Party YouTube page. But I'll have more to say about YouTube stuff when it comes time for committee stuff, or for communications committee stuff.
Okay. Organizing for power training completed.
That was something that quite a few of us did. It was just some labor activist leaders from around the world. And it was a huge Zoom call, thousands of people. We learned a lot about labor union organizing techniques and stuff. Jay, do you want to say anything about it? Garrett, who else was on it? Was Claire on it?
Alex caught some.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just organizer training. We need to become better organizers if we want to become more successful as a party. And we're looking to kind of like bring more people through that organizer training. And it's kind of in the spirit of Jane McAlevey, who's famous for labor organizing in hospitals and whatnot.
Jay,
so
can you
we
speak
have
up a little bit, please?
Sure, yeah. We're just hoping to put more people through organizer training because that's really important for party building.
Okay. ACJ car protest.
Yeah, that was an action that we participated in this month where we got into cars, and it was to pressure the county jail to basically like provide protective equipment for people in the jail, to release people who are there on like technical parole violations, and just basically people are getting coronavirus in the jail and everyone is packed in together and they're releasing a tiny bit of people, enough to get like a pat on the back, but it's not enough to like save the number of lives that we need that should be saved. So that was just an action that we participated in through the PAC coalition that Carmen was talking about.
Sign-on letters. Urban Kind. An open letter to Pittsburgh area landlords.
Yeah, so we have 4 letters that the executive committee voted on throughout the month of April to sign on to. And I just wanted to list them all there. We also have links to them. We should have them somewhere. They're definitely in the Slack. I guess we can also link them in this agenda and post the edited version if anyone wants to read them. But the basic idea is the open letter to landlords was to delay any evictions and ease up on rent and everything when the crisis started. The second one, the Penn Environment one, was a letter to the State House of Representatives, the State General Assembly, to oppose a massive taxpayer handout to frackers. That was hosted by Penn Environment, and I signed on to avoid any kind of conflict of interest for Jay, but I signed on behalf of Allegheny County Green Party. Green Party of Ireland released a statement about their energy policy. Jay, do you want to talk about that at all? I don't know much of the details. I skimmed it.
Yeah, just really quickly. It's not Green Party of Ireland, although they're sort of related.
Okay.
They're campaigning about on this. But basically anti-fracking activists in Ireland. Ireland banned fracking, but they're still using imported fracked gas. And they're also building fracking gas infrastructure to use gas that's drilled here in Pennsylvania. So they're looking for support from Pennsylvania organizations to say to their government that this is killing people here and it's unacceptable. That's it.
That sounds like a good topic for a blog article. Can someone either write up a draft or at least give me details and I'll write it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can send it to you, Ron. Just kind of for everybody, there's some interesting, I guess, kind of background on that with Ireland and a lot of places around the world are moving to ban fracking because it's a bad idea. But then what they're doing, of course, is just importing the frack gas from other places. And so what Tom Wolfe in Pennsylvania apparently want to do is make Pennsylvania the frack place of the world and just export all the frack gas from Pennsylvania to Ireland and wherever else. So they want us to deal with the health consequences instead of the rest of the world, basically. They're colonizing Pennsylvania for the gas companies. But the Irish environmentalists, like Jay was talking about, and that includes some Green Party members in Ireland, actually reached out to us. They were reaching out to organizations in Pennsylvania asking for us to kind of sign on to their letters saying that, you know, the people locally oppose it, and so Ireland shouldn't be supporting it, right? Like, they shouldn't be against the wishes of local people in Pennsylvania. So it's an interesting push, and it also kind of shows kind of the international Green Party movement, right? There's Green parties around the world, including in Ireland, and even though they sometimes disagree with each other and it's complicated, it's also kind of cool to know that there's kind of this international movement going on, and international solidarity building against fossil fuels in general. So that was just kind of my thing to add.
Sounds pretty cool, Garrett. I think it could have some potential in a lot of ways.
David, we can't hear you very well.
I don't know, I'm sorry, but I just was saying that sounds very cool what Jay just reported. Maybe there's some potential there for future work on that together.
International solidarity.
Yeah.
Also, this is continuation of previous solidarity that we had with these same anti-fracking activists, both the Green Party of Pennsylvania and also the Green Party of Allegheny County. It's like a continuation off of stuff that we've been talking with them about.
Cool.
Okay,
Awesome.
we have one letter left.
Yeah, and then the last letter is from Abolitionist Law Center, and it's called "We Demand Universal Testing at ACJ, Allegheny County Jail." So that sort of just follows along with the same ideas behind the protests, that they're not getting their personal protective equipment and they are not in proper conditions. So the least they could do is do some testing in the jail to make sure they know what risk the prisoners and the workers, everyone in the jail, is, what kind of risk level there is there, and hopefully minimize the spread of COVID-19 in the jail.
Okay, we'll move on to new party business.
Tom, could I add something real quick?
Go ahead, Garrett.
Those sign-on letters, some of those letters come from people directly emailing and contacting the Green Party. But, you know, as a grassroots organization, you know, all of you are probably involved in activism for other things, right? Other issues. So I want to invite everybody that if there is an effort that you know about, whether it's a letter or a protest or event or something like that, that the Green Party can sign on to, you know, let us know. You can email the party. You can email me and Jay to get it in the executive committee. Ideally, we like to have all of our members, you know, like on this phone call, approve it. But if there's like time sensitivity, our executive committee can sign off on it so that we can make sure that we are supporting whatever events. So if you know of anything else that the Green Party should be signing off on or whatever, let us know.
Okay. Co-sponsoring patio series. Ron.
Yeah, Jay, you're gonna have to fill that in. I'm not entirely sure of the patio series. I know that's something Michael was doing.
Yeah, Michael's been doing a series of forums with various groups. So the first one was with just Mel Packer talking about his activism. There was one about fracking. There was one about single-payer healthcare with Claire and Ed Gristar. And the next one is supposed to be about the John Brown Gun Club, which is like a socialist rifle association. But basically, Michael Bagdis Canning has been just putting these events on himself, and he says that he would like to invite the Green Party to be co-sponsors of this panel series. I was like, if we have to do a lot of work, it's going to be tricky, but we don't have to do a lot of work. He's doing it all. So we're just kind of signing on and helping to share. So that's kind of something for us to vote upon. And I know a bunch of people have checked out some of those the series before. I mean, Claire was a speaker on one.
Was it face-to-face or is it online?
It's online.
Can we have a little clarity about the John Brown Socialist Rifle Club?
Anyone want to?
Yes.
Anyone know about it?
The John Brown Gun Club.
Yeah.
The John Brown Gun Club is a socialist organization that does not hate guns. They celebrate gun ownership. They celebrate marginalized communities being armed for self-defense. They are more closely related to what are they called again?
Black Panthers?
No. Well, yeah, maybe, but I was thinking about that hillbilly group. What's that hillbilly group that's all about?
Redneck Revolt.
What is it again?
Redneck Revolt.
Thank you, Redneck Revolt.
Yeah,
And more loosely connected Antifa groups around the country.
Are they under the rubric of socialist rifle clubs that I've seen throughout the internet?
I would imagine so.
Yes.
They've been around for a long time. I mean, they're named after John Brown.
Yeah.
You know?
Ron, if I could add a little context. I guess they're sort of similar to the Socialist Rifle Association, a few other groups, in the sense that they're a leftist group that's very obviously pro Second Amendment and having guns. Someone had mentioned the Black Panthers, I guess a little bit more in that direction. If you don't know the story of John Brown, look it up on Wikipedia and kind of read the summary. It's very interesting. What basically happened is John Brown was against slavery and trying to get the government to abolish slaves, and they wouldn't do it, so he just kind of grabbed a gun and said, I'm going to go free the slaves myself.
Yeah. So this is
He built an army, though. He built
an
army to
grab a gun. Yeah, this is Claire. He did more than he organized a whole militia and tried to take over a fort. It was a militia, mostly black, but also white people, and they almost took over this fort, but they were defeated and pretty much slaughtered, and those who weren't slaughtered were hung. But he was trying to cause an insurrection in the United States to rise up against slavery.
Yeah,
he was also
plantation or slave revolt.
It's also important to remember that John Brown asked Frederick Douglass for his support, and Frederick Douglass said, "You're crazy."
Yeah, he was kind of crazy.
We have to understand something else about John Brown too in history is that he wasn't necessarily some leftist thinker. He was he came from a Christian tradition of morality, right? He was more of a in today's world, he probably would identify more as like I hate to say this, but like Christian conservative, but not right-wing Christian. Like, you know what I mean? Like those, I don't know how to put this. Like there are a lot of Protestants and Presbyterians around my area that are moralists, but they're not leftists. You know what I mean?
Sojourners type.
They're real Christian. In other words, they're real Christian.
Let me just say two things. We are at 7 o'clock, and
all right,
we have a couple more items on the agenda to go. So can we move on to the co-sponsoring Pittsburghers for Public Transit? Jay.
Yeah, Pittsburghers for Public Transit and the Philly Transit Union asked us to sign on to their letter. I actually don't know 100% who the target is, but I think it's to the state. It's to someone at the state level. But the purpose is to get it's something about Turnpike Commission funding to get it put towards transit. I posted the content of the letter in the Slack channel, in the general Slack channel. But basically, Pittsburghers for Public Transit is an ally. They do good work. They could write a lot of whatever they want in the letter, but because I trust their organization so much, I would advocate for signing on to their
Okay.
letter.
2020 proposed goals. Green Party, Allegheny County.
Yeah, that's me also. But can we get a vote on those letter sign-ons so that we know? Like, basically, this body needs to tell the executive committee whether or not we should sign on to these letters.
And which letters are those, Jay? The ones back in 4 or the ones in new party business?
The one in new party business, like the co-sponsoring, that sort of thing.
Okay.
To delay the one about to delay evictions, the pet.
Those are old business. Those are things that we already.
That's old business. Okay.
I think he's talking about the transit letter.
But the first one would be the patio series.
Correct.
Yeah, so we have two things to vote on. We have one is to co-sponsor the patio series, which is Michael Bagdas Canning's series of videos that he hosts. And then second is the letter from Pittsburghers for Public Transit and the Philly Transit, what was the group called, Jay?
Union. Philly Transit
Union. Okay.
I feel like we should know a little bit more. I don't know anything about the Philly Transit Union.
Yeah, we got it late.
Yeah, we just had a post about it today in our exec committee Slack, so I'm assuming that's when we got it.
That's fine. That's a concern that the members have. Anybody else have a concern of either of these two letters that have been discussed briefly? Co-sponsoring patio series or Pittsburgh for Public Transit?
I'm a little concerned about the gun-toting socialist aspect of the patio series. Is this like a supportive series that say, hey, these are good folks, or is this more something that's gonna let them present their ideas but not necessarily advocate for them?
I am not 100% sure. I mean, it's basically, you know, we're saying like, hey, we don't know that much about this group, and it's you know, the purpose of the event is to just find out about the group.
Can I weigh in on this?
Yeah.
Yes.
So even though I haven't attended one of Michael's patio sessions yet, I'm going to on Saturday. I know what he's doing. I know the idea, and he and I have kind of talked about this a little bit on Facebook, and we both just agree that the Green Party and associated allies need to pump out more content in order to help people find their ways from the progressive movement into the Green Party. And by giving platforms to different kinds of organizations that are leftist, we're helping to do that. So I don't think he's endorsing anything. I think he's just simply interviewing people, much like a lot of podcasters would do, and just giving people platforms to talk and discuss their issues and help people find their ways to the Green Party.
Yeah. And this is Claire. Can I say something too?
Please do.
So I attended, and yes, I was one of the speakers for the patio series he had on Medicare for All. He also has, he either just had, I think he has one coming up on the Green New Deal. So I just had a very positive experience with that particular patio, with that particular series. If you're asking for us to endorse the patio series as a whole, I'm really positive about it. It was really good. It was, people were just talking. They were throwing back and forth ideas. There wasn't really any discussion of whether, at least for this one, whether there wasn't any push for you to endorse or not, or just talking about it, presenting you this idea, and people having a really good discussion. So I would hate to see us not endorse the patio series because of, we don't like one particular presentation, or what do you want to call it. If it's like the one I attended, he's not going to be pushing or endorsing. He basically lets the presenters present and lets the audience go at it. At least that was my experience.
Okay, that sounds good. That was why I asked, and I didn't say, hey, I don't like this. I said, you know, what kind of approach is it? I like that.
Yeah, and I understand where you come from too, because I, as a Quaker nonviolent, have some questions about guns too. Although I've learned from living in Western PA that the issue is a little bit more complex than what I thought it was when I grew up in Philly. Yeah, so I have a more nuanced response than I did when I was growing up in Philly, or lived in Philly. But I thought the idea of having people come and sit on your patio and discuss freely ideas that don't normally get discussed was an excellent idea.
But what exactly are we being asked to endorse here, Jay? Or whoever?
We are being asked to endorse the Michael Bagdas Canning patio series, which is not associated with any other group. Basically, we would be the group. It would be Michael Bagdas Canning in the Green Party presents a discussion about these events. These speakers.
Okay.
All right, that's the first one up. Any other discussion? I'm going to ask if we could go to a vote on the first one. And I'm going to ask the people that have their video on to raise their hands for either yay or nay. Otherwise, I'm not going to try to guess how many people are speaking. So if you want to take part of this vote, please turn your cameras on, and we will count hands. Ron, will you help me, please? Any other cameras on? Thank you.
I'd also like to add, only Green Party members can vote.
That's correct.
Right now, I have a list. Here it is. 22 people on right now are Greens. And then I noticed a few people joined late. So Bob Glidden and Lance M. Could the two of you just tell me whether you're registered Green or not? Bob?
Bob is not. I don't think Lance is
Oh,
either.
did he disappear?
Okay.
Oh, did Lance disappear too? Okay. Then never mind.
All right, let's go with the vote on the first one. Now I've just lost the screen.
Yeah,
What are we doing here? Who's sharing their screen? What is this?
I hope nobody hacked us. This Avon
Marcy's screen.
Marcy's screen. What's going on?
Did someone hack us?
Just tell her to stop sharing.
No, Marcy just accidentally
Marcy
shared
must
her
have hit a
screen, I
button.
think. Yeah. It's very easy to hit the share screen button.
Ron, can you pop this off?
All right.
It took me a second to figure out what the heck happened there.
Very good.
Really? What the hell?
We're going to the first one. All in favor of endorsing the patio series, please raise your hand.
Okay, I'm going to count them. I got Claire 1, David 1, Jay 1, Kelly 1, Billy 1, Garrett 1, Alex 1, Catherine 1, Beth 1, Carmen 1, James 1, Matt 1, Ron 1, and that's it. No one else has their videos on.
Did you get
Sorry, this is SEM. This is Elaine. I am a member. I cannot get my webcam to work, but I am supportive as well.
Okay.
Did you get Jerry?
Did you get Billy, Ron?
Yeah, I got Billy
Myself?
earlier.
Okay.
Jerry?
I'm not writing this down, Tom. I'm yelling it out for you.
Oh.
I'll do it again.
I was counting, and
All
that's
right.
that was definitely 15 or more, which is
Yeah.
definitely a
Hold on.
majority.
All those opposed, please.
I'm going to count them out again, so you take the note.
Opposed, I see no hands.
Nobody.
All right, so we're going to say that one passes. Patio series.
Wait, do I need to put in the notes the exact amount of people, or do I just need to say pass fail? Okay.
Yeah. We could go to a roll call vote if it's not clear, but there are no real rules. We're just kind of making it up as we go along, I guess. So.
All right, can we go to Pittsburghers for Public Transit, Philly Transit Union letter? Those in favor of endorsing that letter, please raise your hand.
So instead of calling it out, I'll just count and give you the number here. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
All right. Those opposed to the Pittsburgh for Public Transit, please raise your hand. Endorsement. All right.
Looks like nobody.
Correct. Thank you. Okay, Jay, do you want to go to the proposed goals? And I'm sensitive to people we're over an hour now, but what do you say, Jay?
Yeah. I was hoping that one will go to 8. That's like a normal meeting time, or like 7:30, and then kind of like fade out, I guess. But anyway, goals. Yeah. So I just wanted to put these proposed goals and maybe discuss them a little bit. This is not a vote or anything like that. I'm hoping that we can maybe vote to support these goals at the next meeting, and kind of continue discussing them through the month. So first goal, and this is kind of like short-term goals for the rest of, I'm not sure if it's all the way through like the end of 2021. I think that's fair. So first goal is prepare for 2021 local elections. In my mind, our big, what we're kind of, I think this is like our big goal, right? Like our big, I don't know. We're building towards November 2021. That's when local elections happen across the state. And in my mind, that's kind of like everything we're doing right now is building up towards that. That's like the main goal. Issues-based activism. I just hope that a lot of Green parties they're electoral only, and I hope that our party is never like that. As an organization, like people in the Green Party are always involved in activism. I'm just talking about like our organization is not just electoral only. So I just hope that we continue our involvement with PAC and with the anti-war movement and with anti-fracking, single payer, all of that stuff. Just make sure that we show up when we're needed and people know that we are not just an electoral organization. And then the last thing is we have 2020 elections this year. We would like to do well with them. So we have 2 state house elections, and then we have our statewide elections where the goal statewide is to get 2% so that we can get minor party status across the state as the Green Party. Also we have 2 state house races. I'm not exactly sure like what those concrete goals, it's not as clear what the concrete goals are beyond winning. Maybe there are some step down goals that are short of winning. And also we have the presidential race. So we just want to make sure that if anyone doesn't want to vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump, then they know that there is another option out there. We're not trying to like yell at people for not voting for our candidate. We're not trying to like, apply a ton of pressure, like tell people that they're class traitors if they don't vote for our candidate.
Yes, they're class traitors.
We want people to know that
Every
our
single one of them.
We want people to know that our candidate exists, and everything that we do as the Green Party will help people find out about all of our candidates. So just we need to plan a strategy for 2020, and like I said earlier, develop these campaign teams. So that's one of the major goals.
June Green Enter event.
So I'm trying to figure out when the best place for us to like discuss these things. I guess maybe after we go through this, we can have like an open discussion about all of them. I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
Is this what you're speaking about around primary day, to have a meeting before or after that?
Yeah. So the purpose of this, like Claire was saying before, a lot of people that we know are looking to switch to the Green Party after the primary. They want to cast their vote for Bernie. They want to vote for Summer. They want to cast their vote for Jerry, whatever. But they do want to be in the Green Party after that. So we want to kind of facilitate that, remind people about that, but also remind people about why joining the Green Party is great on its own for people who maybe weren't thinking about it. So one part is like, we have a lot of leaders in our community that are also Greens. So we'd like to kind of showcase that, but also we'd like to showcase people who recently switched green and to talk about why they have, because a lot of people who are thinking about switching green, it'll probably resonate with them a lot. They can see themselves in our newcomers. So that's the general idea. Before this was supposed to be an in-person event, we like reserved this space in May for after the physical primary. But obviously that's all canceled now. So maybe it could be like a Zoom call. It's just like an idea. That's all.
Anybody want to comment on the idea?
This is Nora. I see it as a possibility of welcoming people that they just joined, and then they just joined, and we just wanted you to know this is what we're doing. This is what you could be. These are committees you could join, and just do a little outline to get people on their feet and going all at once.
Thank you. Anybody else? Go ahead, Jay.
So just to reply to that, Nora, it sounds like what you're talking about is more of an onboarding call. And I think we do need to have that right after this event, where it's sort of like integrating people into our party, which we haven't done a great job of. So sorry, all you newcomers. Some of you have driven in. Thank you for meeting us 3/4 of the way. But this event would be a kind of like intro to the Green Party versus a this is, you're already interested in the Green Party and we're going to get you on running. So maybe we'll have like some very, very limited 101, at least in my head. It's not sort of like this is, I don't know, like those are two separate events. The Green Party showcase, like outreach side, and then the onboarding side for people who have already expressed interest. And that we can run with the state with Garrett's onboarding calls maybe, or at least similar to it.
So it sounds like what you're talking about is more a, hey, we're glad you came. We're holding a party because we're glad you came. We know you've been discouraged recently, which they may have been, or at least many of you have been discouraged, but there's hope here. Just kind of a goodwill session.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
I think if you just say, hey, we won't shame you here, a lot of people will be pretty happy.
So that would be a perfect example of like, Billy, just join the Green Party. That would be a perfect example of like, she has an experience that a lot of people have been feeling, and they're like, okay, yeah, I resonate with that and I would want to join. But then, Claire's been with the Green Party for a while, but she can speak about her work with single payer. People know Claire in the community. I've known Claire for a long time, but I didn't know she was a Green. I'm sure lots of people don't realize that. There are a lot of people in our party who maybe they're not coming to every single meeting, but they're like kicking butt in the community, and lots of people know them. And we want to tell other people in the community, look, these leaders are part of the Green Party. Like, we're building a party of leaders, our local activist leaders. This is something you want to be a part of.
Okay, I like that. Local activist leaders. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. I think that kind of a meeting would be good, because one of the questions I have as a new Green coming in is how do I interface and become a part of this party? If you've been a lifelong Democrat like I was coming into this, it's pretty paint by numbers. I mean, you go to the polls, you vote. Well, now as a Green, I'm having to think of this in terms of, well, it's not that cut and dried and set in stone. A lot of this stuff is stuff I need to take the wheel for, and sort of become more a part of the process than just pulling a lever every once in a while in a polling booth. So in that sense, I think it would be good to have something like that, so that you can engage people early in becoming a bigger part of something. If they're coming over from having supported Bernie and they were active in that, they probably already are more engaged in that direction anyway. Just, I think, pointing out the primary difference between the Green Party and the two primary parties as being one of activism versus one of just cast your vote and let the leaders do the talking.
Corporate leadership.
Anyway, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, can I respond to that too? So the way I see the Green Party is that because we are a minor party, a minority status party, that our members and our voters and our supporters are just a little bit more engaged with activism than the mainstream duopoly. And the reason I think I think the reason for that is because we just simply attract more activist mindsets. Otherwise, why would you care about a minor party? But that doesn't mean that everybody that comes to us has to be an activist. You know, you can have people who have busy lives and just want to go and pull the lever every November and just do their thing. And I don't think there's anything really wrong with that.
Or make a monetary contribution.
Right. I mean, there are financial activists who don't have the time but have the resources. They have really good jobs and they don't mind giving up a few bucks a month. That works as well. So while I want to attract, in my communications work, while I want to attract activists to take the mantle, I'm sorry, not take the mantle, but to build our party, I also want to attract, I don't want that to be so top heavy and so activist heavy that it becomes kind of a turnoff to people who aren't activists in their hearts. And that's a tough needle to thread because you don't want to come off as apathetic. But at the same time, you don't want to turn off humans. So that's something I'm trying to thread that needle right now.
Billy and James, if you could like write down what you said, that would be great. Those are great testimonials, you know, like Billy, you're saying being shamed by other groups.
Well, I think they're still going to be shamed, just not coming from, you know, as much from within group.
It's a different shame.
It's it'll be, you know, everyone has already, well, yes, switching to the Greens, I definitely had a lot of, you know, people shaming me for that too. But even before that, as a person on the left, like basically the Democrats have treated the left like, you know, they're just like, we know you're gonna show up, so we can do whatever we want, and that's just not cool.
What was FDR's famous line? They're universal in their hatred for me, and I welcome that hatred.
Whoa.
Hey, Tom, just as the person running the meeting, before we go tonight, I just want to say that I haven't been able to give a committee report. I noticed that we kind of breezed past it at the beginning. So at the end, maybe we can turn around and go back to that.
I don't see Tom here.
Yeah, I don't see Tom on the list. I
think Tom disappeared. I can take over facilitation for now since Tom disappeared. But yeah, we're in the middle of new business. Let me get back to my agenda for a second. I was just doing like 6 things at once. Sorry.
While you're doing that, Kelly, this is David. It's interesting to look at everybody and see how many of us are touching our faces all the time.
Oh, I know. Hey, I'm in my house. I wash my hands.
Just so people know, the recording's not picking this up, but Garrett just made the funniest hand motions to his face that unfortunately the recording will not pick up on because it was in the background.
Dang.
Oh, man.
It's not that hard, everybody. Teachers learn it all the time because you could never survive in a classroom if you touched your face all the time.
Ooh.
It's not that hard.
Just one more reason I'm not a teacher.
I think it's very hard. Very hard.
Okay, so we were talking about like having some kind of Green Enter event. Jay, did you get to talk everything about that you wanted to talk about with the proposed goals and everything?
I'd like to hear people's thoughts, but I think we can finish up talking about the Green Enter. Basically, we're going to be talking about an outreach committee. So if you want to have input on it or help us out with the event, come to the outreach committee meeting on Thursday, or check out the Slack, or send me a message. Don't call me though, because I won't get them.
Okay, so yeah, you heard it here. Outreach committee meeting. Let's have, if Jay wanted to talk at all about his goals, because that was before the Green Enter on the agenda, he can finish that up, and then we'll go to Ron's committee report. Is that good, Ron?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then we can come back to volunteer opportunities. All right, so Jay, go ahead with your goals.
Yeah, I mean,
our
that's
goals.
It's just like I just want to know what people think about them. Also, we didn't. What time? Like, should we aim to end at 7:45? Is that reasonable? Like, I don't know.
I need to stop at 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
I need to go. I'll be right back. The baby peed in my lap, so
Oh,
but I'll be back.
Okay, we'll be done at 7:45.
Okay.
And
Zoom meetings are different.
what's that, Beth?
Zoom meetings are different.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's bad, Beth.
All right.
We
So,
should go to Ron's media.
yeah, Ron, can you give us your update?
All right. It's just not as much of an update as it just is let you guys know what's going on. So, as I announced at the beginning of this Zoom meeting, I should say, that I'm recording this, and that's because I want to start pumping out more content for the Green Party. And Thursday, I was able to wrangle up Garrett, myself, Michael, and Mel, and we're gonna do our first real panel discussion about fear and how the duopoly is using fear to keep their voters in line and not come over to us. And I want to start trying to address that class traitor behavior. I'm kidding. Behavior. And I'm also asking everybody that I run into online, because I don't run into anybody in person anymore, because God forbid we leave our homes. Not that I'm saying we shouldn't be social distancing. It's just, maddening. But yeah, if anybody wants to write up a blog article, if you have a policy or a topic that you believe needs addressed and you'd like to see it on our blog, our Medium blog, please reach out to me. I'd like to thank Tom, even though he left, for his article this month. I'd like to thank Kelly for her article a couple of months ago. I'd like to thank Carol for her article. So we have a few extra people coming in. It's just not my name littered everywhere. And this shouldn't be the Ron blog. It's supposed to be the Green Party blog. So, and Garrett too. Garrett for his help. So if you have anything coming in, please feel free to let me know what you'd like to write about, and we'll make sure that happens. And I'll help you edit it, proof it, and make it look good. Add a photo.
Can we
Yeah.
go back to that panel? I realize you may not have an option, but if possible, if you're going to hold a panel, could you try to have at least one woman around?
Yeah.
Yeah, for this particular panel, I did reach out to Diane Carroll, but she never got back to me.
I'm not. I realize that circumstances being what they are, you can't get it every time, but let's try. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
It looks bad. It looks very bad not to have a woman on there. Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing I'm doing is, you guys might know that much like Michael's patio series kind of idea that he's running with, that's a nonprofit. I haven't asked the Green Party to endorse my Rust Belt Revolution. You guys might have heard of that name, because it's a private enterprise of mine. I'm actually trying to raise some money for myself off of that. So therefore, I'm not trying to connect it directly to the Green Party. However, just so you guys know, the work I'm doing on that is directly Green Party related. This is my attempt to reach a greater progressive audience and bring people into the party through messaging and policy that resonates to gun owners, conservationists, and we'll say the greater population of Bernie-crats across the country. So my goal is to raise consciousness locally about fracking and other really horrific policies that are meant to enslave us and destroy us and kill us early in life, and then also to build up the party. So just want to let you guys know, so if you see any content coming from me that says Rust Belt Revolution, that's what it is.
I'm actually thinking of doing something similar. So I would love to talk to you about stuff like that.
Yeah, reach out to me. But don't forget that content, we also need content for the Green Party. Not everything can be privatized, right? So if anybody has a policy position they'd like to take, This is important because right now our blog this month has one article from Tom. And once I receive information from Garrett about a fracking issue and how the Ireland's issue is going down, I'm going to write an article for our newsletter, but that'll be it for this month. So we need to generate some content.
We
And I'm
should
just not a subject matter
identify.
expert, guys. I'm the writer. You know, I need people who are activists in topics to give me that data. That's all I have.
So you want folks who have potential things to write about to let you know, give you resources so that you can write up content. Do you want?
I can't write everything. I need people to write it themselves,
Okay, yeah. Okay, so but you also want to, we should try to identify maybe some people who want to help with doing blog posts. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's what I would like.
Yeah, and speaking from experience, since I wrote one of our blog posts, you can just write it like you're writing in your journal or like you're texting your friend, as long as you use proper grammar. And even if you don't, Ron will fix it. But Ron made it sound very good and professional, but maintained like some of my style. He changed it the right amount. So if you're not confident about your writing, just do it anyway.
Well, we have lots of people who are interested in writing.
Okay.
Oh, Ron.
So, you know, if you're already doing a lot of other stuff, maybe don't add writing to your website. Because we have people who are like explicitly interested in writing.
So Ron, one of the things.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things that just prior to this, I was on Slack and I had a little back and forth with Jay about that letter to for the Transit Authority, and I was saying, well, look, I think that's a great letter, but how come we aren't asking for an increase in funding for public transit at a time when so many people are, you know, I mean, the repossession of cars has got to be through the roof right now. I mean, asking not to have cuts is good, but I think sometimes the best response is, yeah, never mind cuts, we need more. We don't need less.
So let me just respond to that for a second. So what this sounds to me that you're beginning to formulate an angle to a story in your mind.
Yeah.
What I'm willing to do then is if anybody has these like nuggets of ideas, is that you and I, if you wanted to, we could talk separately, either online or on the phone, and we could kind of flesh out your ideas so that you know what kind of direction to take it, right?
Yeah.
I'm more than willing to do that. So if anybody has that nugget of an idea, but they're not sure how to run with it, I'll help. And then to Jay's point, I'm not asking people who are overloaded with other party business to add on to their pile. I don't want to, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm just saying there are people out there who have topics and ideas that they'd like to get out there. Please feel free and I will help.
One topic that's so relevant right now, although I can't probably write it up right now, is the fact that the Green Party historically is for single-payer health care. And look at how the U.S. government is handling the pandemic, especially vis-a-vis poor and African-American people of color. It's just an outright crime, you know. And that would be a great article to show if the Green Party was running the country, it would be a very different situation in terms of healthcare delivery to every person in the country.
I mean, you're right, and you know, if a pandemic with a mean lethality rate of around 4% is bringing the U.S. economy to its knees, what is 4C World going to do to it? Plus 4C World with global warming. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of wake up calls that I think out there that need to be written about.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with both of you. I think on specific policy issues, I'm not saying that we have to bend our personal will to that of the greater party. I think there's nothing wrong with taking your own position on things, but I know as far as Medicare for All goes, I know a significant portion of the party is more in favor of a national health service like Great Britain has. So that's something we may want to consider as well.
Cool. I'm gonna cut this discussion off right here, and Jay wants to talk a little bit more about goals, and then we have Garrett talking about some volunteering opportunities. It is now 7:35, and we want to be done by 7:45, 7:50 at the latest. So go ahead, Jay.
I've said what I wanted to say about goals. I just want to know what other people think, because
I think this,
my
this is Carmen. I
goals are
think
not
it's a great
necessarily
start.
the
I
party
think that it'll give us some direction. I've talked to you about like with the goals overall for, so I'm new and I'd like to know like where I would fit in, where the best support would be at. So I think that's great to hear that. So thanks, Jay.
Just to respond to that, hi Robin. Just to respond to that, so these goals are just like short-term goals, just because like right now we got no goals, so it's just like something so that we have a direction. But we should do that strategic planning, maybe more of a long-term thing that we were talking about, Carmen, sometime. I don't know when the right time to do it is, but sometime.
I mean, just to jump in, I think one of the really good short-term goals that you were saying is maybe trying to make sure that we use that primary election or the election day as a deadline of sorts to get our sort of onboarding process sort of streamlined. I don't know if I like to have deadlines because it helps me with things.
Yeah, deadlines are definitely good. Agreed there. Do you want to set goals for each committee, or do you want to, is this whole overall strategy thing, is that a policy committee thing? Where do we go with that?
I don't know. We're just kind of starting to discuss them. It's something we have to like hash out, not right here, right now.
Okay. So we should definitely have a conversation on Slack. Maybe on Friday we can make like a focused thread on goals that everyone wants, and they can all pitch in their own ideas. We can do that on the Slack chat because I think people will be able to elaborate more on their ideas and stuff, and you can always come back to the thread.
I think for people who are going to be thinking about stuff, I like to, when I'm thinking about goals, like not focus so much on the goals, but the systems. Like, I don't know if anyone has ever read Atomic Habits, but there's this really good quote: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So I think that's something to keep in mind when we're having that goal conversation. It's like, what systems can we put in place that are going to become habits for us as a party that are going to allow us to reach our goals?
That's another great blog article idea, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What do other people think? Just like, I don't know. Like, do you think people think it's a good idea? We're just kind of like, we need to use the General Assembly to gauge the direction so that it's a democratic process,
Yeah, Beth messaged that she has a start of an idea about goals, needs to talk to work it out or give it up. Beth, do you want to elaborate on that? Talk it out?
It's something I've kind of talked about before. I've been thinking about the fact that the big difference between something like the Green Party and most of these wonderful nonprofits and even activist organizations that I'm a member of is that they're nonprofits. And there suddenly is a line where, can't talk about that, can't talk about that. And there's other things besides just running candidates that are political actions that I think we could take. For example, those organizations are not allowed to, by the way, my battery's going low. If I die out, don't get upset. Those political organizations are not allowed to rate candidates. We can rate candidates who aren't green and say, this one's not real good, but this one's awful. Or we can, if we want to be very positive, which sometimes people prefer, we can say, this is what we like about this candidate and have in common with them, and this is what we can't seem to find anything for that candidate. But however we want to do it, I think we need to take political stands, and we need to host blatantly political events even when we aren't running candidates, because people need to really have a sense that there's this group out there with a very definite position and a definite presence. And then there are things about what I'm saying that might not work. Just like I've been told that endorsing candidates isn't a good idea, although I don't quite see it yet. On the rare occasion where there's someone worth endorsing, which I don't think is very common, but it does happen. But I'd like to see it be a political organization in more than just the run some candidates sense.
Okay, yeah. Do you feel that the getting together the neighborhood groups is helping to accomplish that, or do you still feel that that is too like candidate based?
I'm not in any of the neighborhood groups, so I don't know. I think if you asked the average Democrat in Pittsburgh, where you're not going to find too many people who aren't Democrats, some, but not too many, exactly what the Green Party stands for, I don't think they'd know. And I think that's partly because we're not giving our opinion in each election and on each. Sometimes we support other groups that are doing stuff, but we don't. I don't know. It's hard to find us sometimes. I'm not articulating this very well. Like I said,
yeah, I can definitely attest
someone
to that.
who's got like an hour to talk it through and tell me, oh, well, we don't want to go that way because of this, and we don't want to go this way because of that. But you know what? That might work.
Sounds like you need a neighborhood group on the north side.
Yeah.
I think it's even harder to change people's minds when their mind's already set.
But maybe their mind is set on the things that we stand for and they don't know it. I think that's part of what Beth is saying.
Well, most people have some sort of opinion and they want to be right.
Right.
Yeah,
I think the thing
I am always right. Just so everybody here knows, I am never wrong, ever.
This is Carmen. I hear what you're saying. I think people do have their opinions, but I think that this, our country, period, not just our localities, have gone through a big shift with this COVID. And I think that they've seen a lot of like shortcomings in the two-party system. And I think this is an opportunity to like really spark that and to really leverage that to start conversations around how the Green Party can be better and do better, because both parties, Democratic and Republican, are failing this, and a lot of people are actually seeing that real time right now. So I think we should use that to our advantage as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to move on to Garrett with volunteering opportunities. So now you can see what we do have in place already as far as getting our message out, trying to be visible and accessible to everyone, and how you as already Green members, already committed people committed to the cause, how you can help to further that. Go ahead, Garrett.
Yep. So I'll try to keep it quick. I'm sure everyone's getting tired. The main point that I want to emphasize is that the Green Party is grassroots democratic, and we mean it. Right now you see me and Jay and Ron and Kelly doing a lot of stuff, and it's not because we want to control everything. It's just because, recently we were small. But there's always room for new ideas and new people to jump in. And, I've been excited about all the new people coming in saying, yeah, I want to work on that part, and the policy committee, for example, is something that I wanted to put together for a while. But had a lot of things on my back burner. And so it was really cool when Billy came in and said, hey, we should do this. And do you want me to set up a thing? And how about let's do it Friday? And and so, it's really great. So I like that grassroots energy. And so I want to say, first of all, everybody that's on this call, everybody who's registered Green, if you have an idea, shout it out. Let the executive committee know. We'll put it on the agenda for like our next monthly meeting. We'll talk about it. Ideas can come from everybody. It doesn't have to come from, just the executive committee. So if there's anything you want to see the Green Party do, put that out there. Like Ron was saying, we can publish things. So if you want to write something up, write up a draft and send it. And, we'll talk about publishing it and sponsoring it. like Jay was saying earlier, we can sign on to like letters and endorsements and things like that for other organizations we want to support. But Jim brought up the good point about like, well, why don't we ask for more? One thing that is makes me slightly nervous. I don't know if nervous is the right word, but one thing that makes me slightly iffy about supporting other organizations is, as much as I want to support them, actually Beth was just talking about this, many of those groups get stuck either within Democratic Party politics or with this very nonpartisan thing. Like, I'm a nonprofit and I'm totally staying away from that thing. And one huge advantage the Green Party has is we are the only political action committee. We are the leftist party. We can go out there and we can talk politics and candidates as much as we want. And so we should ask people and organizations, what are the kind of things that you want to say, but maybe you're not allowed to, or you don't feel comfortable, or whatever, like we could be the crazy political people that get out there and like scream from the rooftops about what really needs to happen, right? So if you have any ideas about that, let us know. So in terms of volunteering, we have a bunch of committees. We have a policy committee that's starting to form. We have a communications committee. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the best way to structure this in my head. What's that?
Media.
Yeah, media with communications.
Oh, sorry. Finance.
Yeah, finance, we should really think about like fundraisers, if there's anybody that's really excited about that. There's outreach for new people. We've had a bunch of new people want to get involved in the party. We're slowly working on that. So that takes like calling people or texting them or something and doing onboarding. Part of the onboarding so far has been handled by the Green Wave Committee, which, like I said, is helping candidates. Kind of in Jay's direction, we have to talk about our goals over the next year. And I think municipal elections is a great place to start. We need more people running for local office. A lot of times those local offices only take like 10 signatures to get on the ballot, especially if you live outside of Pittsburgh city limits. So we can help a lot of people get on the ballot and run, for example, or we can form neighborhood committees like Marcy was talking about. We sort of have the beginnings of one in the east, south, and west, Allegheny County. We could try to get one in the north too. That way we have all the quadrants covered. But all of these things need work. So, let us know what you're interested in. Do you like to write? Do you like to talk to people? Do you want to call and text? Any of that stuff. Let us know and we can kind of plug you into a committee. And there's a lot of work to be done locally. But a lot of local Green parties around the state also need help. So if you wanted to be involved in the state Green Party, you could even kind of help facilitate that sort of thing too, to really help us grow. So I guess that's my thing. So hopefully that didn't take too long. Does anyone have any last minute questions or thoughts here?
All right, Jay wants to get a picture. So everyone who is able to turn on their webcam, please do so, and we'll all smile and take a screenshot. It'll be awesome.
That's right, screenshot.
While we're doing that, I just want to say a couple of things. One is, I've been in the Green Party so long, I've seen the ebb and flow like this before, where we've gone down to very small little core group for years, and then it's grown to big groups. But the big size never lasts. It kind of like fades out over time, and we end up being a little small group like we were last year. To me, this feels different. And I feel like this new kind of Green Party of Allegheny County is going to continue to grow and do good things. I don't know why. The bad part is I never did Zoom meetings with the Green Party. So, live meetings, you don't see yourself. Here I see myself with all these young people. I didn't realize how old I was. It's so weird. But anyway, I have a lot of optimism about us. It's great.
Awesome. Thank you, David. All right, everybody smile. I'll take a few screenshots. And yeah, ready? Okay, I got a couple.
I think the reason why the Green Party is beginning to grow a little bit locally is because of Jay's efforts. But I don't want to dismiss the national flavor, and I really think that the progressive movement as a whole, as much as a lot of us are angry at Bernie Sanders right now, I'm personally very disappointed, especially him endorsing a rapist. I don't want to get into that right now, but I'm just saying that I think we have a lot of thanks to give to people in the national spotlight who have kind of triggered the progressive movement a little bit further ahead than we would have got on our own.
We can't hear you, Kelly.
Thanks. So that's all for our official agenda. But you can feel free to stay and hang out. Ron, if you could just end the recording so that the meeting is done, and then we can just chill and talk.